it's Jack and Sam from Cultaholic.com. I hope you enjoyed Sam and Adam's song from earlier today,
it's
the first
great.
news video. And we have yet more news to discuss, so I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, hyped for the news?
I'm really hyped for it. Let's just crack on with these bloody headlines. It's Friday. Want to go home. First of all, 2 WWE Superstars are set to take time off after WrestleMania. Next up, an update on Rusev's ongoing contract issues. And finally, potential plans for Goldberg following Super ShowDown. So yes, first of all, let's look at the speculation that 2 WWE Superstars are taking time off after WrestleMania 36 in April. This is via Sportskeeda, who say there are rumours now that both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins may take some time away after WrestleMania to recharge, maybe go and get married. That's a bit of a big speculation.
That's a big one.
And let the fans breathe a little bit. So it's got recharge, let the fans breathe a little bit, maybe get married as well.
Buy some what's-its.
Yeah. Because absence does make the heart grow fonder. This is only what they hear, Sportskeeda, though nothing is concrete at the moment. But what they're starting to hear is that it would make sense for Becky, obviously, if this was the case, to lose the title at WrestleMania, and it looks very likely that it'll be against Shayna Baszler. So if that's true, we could see Shayna as the Raw Women's Champion.
Fingers crossed.
That would be a big leap. I think this could be actually quite a good idea.
I think it's smart, that it's got to get hard carrying all that weight on your shoulders, like both of them have been at the forefront of major storylines for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it's just rolled over and rolled over and rolled over. So makes sense. Give them a bit of break, give the fans a break from them, give them a break from the fans, bring them back, do something fresh for them. And
I think as well, they're both the sort of superstar where, yes, I mean, Becky's been really popular for a while now, but Rollins obviously went through that real dip when he was a babyface. Then he turned heel, he's absolutely killing it now. But I think that they're both the sort of superstar where, regardless of their level of popularity, if they do take time off at that moment, when they come back, they'll be a huge pop. Everyone will be excited.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. I think everybody will be more than happy if they, even if it's just a month or so.
Yeah. It's weird sometimes when a superstar takes time off and they don't mention it or it doesn't crop up in the news because there's so many and the roster's so dense that sometimes, depending on who it is, you don't even really notice. I think AJ Styles took time off one time and I was like, where's AJ been? And then he came back. Balor, of course, went and got married. And then when they come back, it does always feel fresh. So I think this is probably quite a good thing. And would you be happy to see Shayna as Raw champion?
More than happy. She deserves it. She deserves the world. She should take all the gold. All of it.
I'm really interested to hear what you think of the whole biting angle, because it wasn't very her.
And I guess the whole thing with Shayna is that she's ruthless, she's violent, she has that background, but maybe this was a way of showing how violent and how ruthless she is without the commentary having to hammer home MMA, Shayna Baszler, MMA, NXT, Shayna Baszler, streak, MMA, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit hokey though.
Yeah, it didn't.
I get she sort of mercilessly breaks people's arms off and stuff, but just do that. Just have a snap somebody's arm. Legit, just snap an arm.
Yeah, why not? And then have a different opponent for Mania.
Yeah.
I've got a broken arm. But if they are taking time off and it is legit rumours, then fair play to Seth and Becky. Hope they have a lovely time.
Yeah.
Next up, an update on Rusev's contract issues from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. First, let's go back to last week's Wrestling Observer, where Meltzer reported that Rusev had been kept off Raw because of a contract dispute, because he was part of this very divisive, but very highly viewed, especially if you look at the YouTube viewing figures and stuff, angle between himself and Lana and Bobby Lashley and everything, and then Liv Morgan got involved. And then he's just sort of disappeared after that.
It's all sort of evaporated.
Yeah, now Meltzer last week reported that was due to a contract dispute with WWE, but because he was announced for a match at Super ShowDown, many people were speculating that those issues were over and had come to an end. But then this week, Meltzer has now reported that the issues are actually still ongoing. It's just that he's got plenty of time left on his contract, so it's not as if they're going to just stop using him for a long time. I suppose he's got plenty of time left. They'll bring him in when they need him to. And I guess he's not going to turn down a Saudi Arabia payday as well.
No, well, that's the thing. I think, maybe it's not like a dispute, like I'm going to leave dispute. It might just be like a pay increase. It might just be I want some extra time, or can we shave this off, or can I get some holiday? It could be anything. Like contract disputes could be anything.
Yeah.
But really if he's got time and if they want to use him, they may as well use him if he's happy to do so.
One thing I think is that, and I personally wasn't a fan of the whole Rusev-Lana divorce storyline. And part of that is because I think that, especially Rusev, he's so good in the ring, but also just so hilarious and charismatic.
Yeah.
I think that he really deserves a good storyline, a quality one that he can really get his teeth into.
And you're saying that this wasn't a good storyline?
Yes, I am. I'm saying that 100%.
I am ashamed to know
you a fan of it?
No.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep you updated on these rumours and everything. But for now, let's just run down everything that's been announced so far for Super ShowDown.
Yeah.
Coming towards the end of this month. New Day, of course, are defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against The Miz and the recently returned John Morrison. And there's a 6-man gauntlet featuring, this is the match that Rusev has been announced for, featuring Rusev, AJ Styles, Andrade, Bobby Lashley, Eric Rowan, and R-Truth. And the winner of that receives the Chuake Trophy, the most prestigious trophy in all of professional
massive.
wrestling.
It's glass this time though, so if it falls over, then it's going to look even more impressive.
I can't wait to watch it.
Well, the one thing curious by its absence as well is Bayley versus Carmella. That's now taking place tonight on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did break new ground last time around with the women's match, but obviously.
It's sort of 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, right. It's a very controversial situation, and it'll just continue to be controversial for as long as this deal's in place, I suppose.
7 more years unless they extend it.
Yeah, it's a bit. Oh my god.
Yeah. We're going to be like in our mid-30s by the time this is done.
Oh,
yeah.
Dear me. Next up, sticking with the Observer for now, because we're going to talk about plans for Goldberg following that Saudi Arabia show, Super ShowDown 2020. Now, the rumour is, right, first of all, it all seemed like it was being built up for a WrestleMania Universal title match between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and everyone, including myself, was thinking Roman Reigns will take on Bray Wyatt, and he'll be the one to finally slay the beast, beat the Fiend, and do the Superman, and do the wrist, and all that lovely stuff that we know and love. But instead, it might not be Fiend versus Roman Reigns at all. This is where Goldberg comes in. So Meltzer said, the sad part of this, what a way to open the sentence, is when it became apparent Goldberg was facing Wyatt, it also became clear that there will be more interest in Goldberg versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania than Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in that spot. Even though, and I agree with Meltzer here, Wyatt has been pushed as this Fiend character as an unbeatable monster. So, in terms of concluding that storyline, with the Fiend turning back everyone from Rollins to Daniel Bryan, it would make sense that Roman Reigns recently returned from his really devastating battle with cancer, and everyone was really happy to see him back. That would be a nice completion of the arc, with the two characters meeting at WrestleMania and the good guy winning. But because of this, that might not even happen at all. And that would mean, in theory, that we'd see another title change in Saudi Arabia, with Goldberg being the one to defeat the Fiend.
A part of me, and this is again going to sound horrible, but I don't mean it to. A part of me thinks that Roman is the problem here.
Okay.
Because you could do Goldberg Fiend at Mania, no bother. People would be buzzing to see Goldberg. Of course. You could do Goldberg Lesnar again, no bother. People would happily watch that. I think when you throw Roman into the mix, because he is so central to, that story of coming all the way back to the top, that's when it gets thrown in. I don't know if I'd be that buzzing to see Roman, because the problem is with me, it's like I don't want the Fiend to end, and if the Fiend gets beat, then what the hell's he going to do?
I know, I really don't know.
What happens? Is Bray going to take 6 months off and just disappear?
He'll go on holiday with Seth and Becky.
Yeah,
you'd be chilling with them at the pool.
But I think part of me thinks that this is it's all Roman's fault, because Roman is eventually going to be that guy.
Yeah.
And so you could put anybody against Wyatt at Mania, like a legend or anything, and that'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Meltzer brings up a point here, a wider point about WWE's booking as a whole, which I think also I agree with. Yeah. Which is that it also says volumes about the ability to create a star now. Bringing someone back based on a huge run nearly 22 years ago.
Not even having him in the arena either.
No, he was on satellite, wasn't he?
Goldberg's going to be here for SmackDown.
Yeah. That outshines the guy protected more in booking, Bray Wyatt, than anyone else, who is also the company's top merchandise seller. So, or is that Roman? It means either Roman or Bray there, but basically this is a point that Wyatt may have to take a back seat in terms of this WrestleMania thing, because people are more interested in a star from the Attitude Era or the Monday Night Wars. I
would be so angry if they put the belt, and as much of a big Goldberg fan as I am, I'd be so angry if they put the belt on him at Saudi Arabia.
Because
it's just, I know the finances have gone crazy, I know the stock market's gone crazy with WWE and everything, and I know that they want a big Mania to make everybody happy and really, put butts in seats, but think of the long term here with this storyline alone. It makes more sense to just have the Fiend be the strong one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Also, when we mentioned Wyatt going on holiday with Seth and Becky, you seen the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode where Amy and Jake go on their honeymoon and Holt's there? And just imagine Wyatt as the Holt figure, just in the pool with them, just like, hello.
That's the other thing as well. Has Goldberg ever tapped or been knocked out?
I don't know.
Like, other than when he was stun gunned and the shoulder plate, like,
but
then he
was pinned,
Brett.
wasn't he? He didn't pass out. Yeah. So maybe
it's like, would he give up? Would he pass out to the mandible claw?
I can't see it. No, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to beat Bray Wyatt. Yep, right, let's get these last two stories out of the way, and then next week or the week after, we can watch Goldberg gloriously win the Universal title.
90s.
And finally, two stories which I guess we'll do back to back because they both come from the Grilling JR show, and it's him talking about AEW, partly his opinion and vision for AEW, and partly what the company line is with regards to looking for new people to come in.
Anybody, all of them.
That's not quite what he said. He narrowed his scope a little bit.
But that's the actual company line. Come on, we all know that.
What sort of talent is AEW looking for at the moment was the question posed to JR, and he said athletic, talented, big men, specifically bigger lads, who haven't been given the opportunity to become a global star. He used three examples: Jeff Cobb, who is now in AEW and he's wrestling Jon Moxley next week on Dynamite, Lance Archer, who has gone on a really late career resurgence over in New Japan. He had a fantastic G1 climax, and Brody Lee, the former Luke Harper, of course, and everyone's kind of just waiting for him to show up in AEW.
Yeah, it's got to be a lock-on, surely, with him appearing at, was it a hockey game with Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, it was vlogging.
Yeah, and so, like, I don't know. The one thing that I will say there, though, about Lance Archer is, and I'm going to sound like a bit of a dick, but, like, it's the same with Kenny Omega in my head. I think Japan made him special.
Oh, okay.
I think Japan, and being the big guy over there, and the gimmicks worked so well there. And yes, Kenny Omega is perhaps the greatest wrestler alive right now, but I think when you put him on a regular weekly show in the US, this enigma is lost with him. This sort of, you're seeing him more often. He's not in the same position he was in Japan, which he couldn't be because he's a vice chairman or whatever it is. But it's, I don't know, I think Lance Archer might not have the same impact on an American audience as it would on a Japanese audience, because America's used to seeing big, hard, like, massive bastards. Yeah, maybe. I guess if they were to sign him, we'd see how it goes. But but the other two, Jeff Cobb's already there, and Brody Lee surely must be going soon. Also, JR singled out somebody. I wouldn't say so much a big powerhouse, but a wrestler that he would love to see in AEW, and it's Nick Disco
Aldis.
Inferno.
No, it's not It's Nick Aldis. It's Disco Nick.
Nick So Aldis. Inferno.
The current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis, of course. He said he's a good hand man, which of course was the term that Sean Spears hated when Cody used against him.
Disgusting thing to say about a wrestler.
Oh, you're good, but I'm the star. Anyway, but I'm sure JR didn't mean it like that. He said Nick Aldis is a good hand. He's a hell of a hand. I wish we had him in AEW. I'm sure any promotion wishes they had him because he's that good. He's a throwback, isn't he? And I think at the moment in NWA on Power, to me that seems like the perfect place for him right now, where he can really thrive. I don't know how well he'd fit in on Dynamite, a more outlandish show with bigger characters.
Again, part of me with AEW is I want to see more storylines get cemented and driven forward, because I think we're already building a good platform. So we're right on the ground floor right now. We've just got all of the flooring down. Now it's time to start building, and we're sort of getting there. But I think we need to focus, and it's going to sound horrible again. We need to focus less on bringing more people in and sorting stuff for established people, like across the board. And sort of sticking it to the WWE method of just week pay-per-view, week pay-per-view, and have TV build.
I do agree to a degree. I think that the fact that you look at their roster and there's various people who haven't been used for like maybe even a month or two. You don't necessarily need to bring in loads of new people. You can just utilize the pieces you have more frequently. A good example is Jimmy Havoc, who was recently on one of the Road 2 shows on YouTube and cut a promo, which seems to imply that he's going to return and get a bit more of a push. But I think there's various people who could benefit from that sort of treatment as well, especially in the women's division. People like Big Swole.
Well, this is one thing. I think the women's division feels a little bit like it's just sort of, it's on an even footing. It doesn't feel like there's like a cyclical nature to it yet or anything.
Well, there is a new champion, of course, in the row, so maybe.
Like, hopefully this is it.
Anyway, that's all of the news for you now. That's a weird outro. I've never said that before.
That's all the news for you now.
Tatty, bye. Yes, see you in a bit. Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.